Today we're looking at some of the best cases for the Galaxy A14 5G. I'll leave a link down below with current pricing and more information on everything covered in this video. Best part is most of these are pretty affordable. So let's go ahead and get started. Now this slim case by Macavo also comes with a tempered glass screen protector and is available in 3 different colors: red, blue, and the one shown here is black. The sides of this case are actually nice and soft, pretty flexible all the way around, but there on the back is nice and rigid, doesn't really flex at all. As you can see, sort of a frosted, semi-transparent back. Pretty easy to install the case. A fairly snug fit, there's just a little bit of play in it. Nice thing is you've got nice screen protection all the way around. Pretty large cutout there for the power button, so it's easy to get to the fingerprint scanner. Volume buttons could be a little bit clickier. They don't really make any noise when using them, but they stick out plenty, and I like the red accent color there as well. You'll also notice this one sticks out quite a bit there around the cameras on the back, so plenty of protection there. Also has sort of a soft touch material there on the back, fairly smooth overall. Nice oversized cutout for the charging port and headphone jack. Definitely one of the lighter cases out there, only 24 grams by itself, 228 grams with the case installed. You also have a spot here on the side for a lanyard. Overall, just a really nice design by Macavo. Now this case here is the Nano Pop from CASEOLOGY. Definitely one of my favorite cases out there. Comes in 2 different colors, black sesame, and the one shown here is blueberry navy. This one's also military grade, drop tested. I really like how they show the interior color through to the backside where the cameras are. And it definitely feels more rigid than most other TPU cases. Doesn't really flex much. Nice and snug fit on here. Doesn't have too much play on the sides either. Pretty nice screen protection all the way around. Nice and oversized cutout for the power button, so it's easy to use the fingerprint scanner. One solid piece for the volume rocker. Actually seems to work pretty nice. Doesn't take much effort to push these. I also like what they do on the sides here. They've got a bunch of little bumps that you can't really see until you look real close. Just gives it a lot of extra grip. Also has really nice camera protection there on the back. Oversized cutouts on the bottom for the headphone jack and charging port as well. Fairly smooth here on the back. I kind of wish they could make it just a little bit softer material, but overall really nice design. Very minimal branding down here at the bottom. Weighs 50 grams by itself. Weighs in at 254 grams with the case installed. Just overall pretty nice slim case with a little bit extra style there around the cameras. Now if you're looking for a clear case, this one by RINGKE, they always do a nice job with their cases. You can actually get this one in smoke black, clear, and the one shown here is matte clear, where it's matte on the back and then a little bit shinier or glossier around the edges. This one's super rigid, doesn't really flex at all. Actually fits the phone really nice. Not much play at all there on the sides. You can see the nice matte finish there on the back. There's a little bit of frosted look to it, so it's not quite as clear as there on the sides. Also has pretty good screen protection here around the edges, extra on the top and bottom. Nice and tapered opening there for the power button. The volume buttons could be a little bit clickier. They don't seem to make any sound when using them, but they seem to work pretty good. You can see a little bit of thickness there on the back around the cameras. Nice and large, accurate cutouts there on the bottom for the charging port and headphone jack as well. Definitely one of the better looking clear cases I've seen, and it appears to be pretty grippy here on the sides. Looks like it's 32 grams for the case itself. Looks like it weighs 238 grams with the case installed. Overall, just a really nice and fairly slim clear case by RINGKE. Now this case here, I was kind of curious about. This is by RMOCR, mainly because the design on this reminds me a lot of what you would see from OtterBox. You can see it's a 2-part case, TPU material on the inside, harder plastic shell on the outside. They also throw in a tempered glass screen protector, a lanyard, and a tempered glass cover for the cameras. Not to mention, I don't know if I've seen this many colors for a case. They've got red, navy blue, mint green, lavender, dark green, cute pink, black matte, and the one shown shown here is white. You can see the TPU color is a lighter gray. I feel like the TPU material could be a little bit softer. Fairly simple to put this case in, doesn't take much effort, and surprisingly it doesn't have that much flex on the sides where the TPU material is. Looks like it's got nice screen protection all the way around. Nice and large cutout for the charging port. Also has a little bit of texture here on the sides. I think the volume buttons work okay on this one. I just kind of wish they would stick out just a little bit more. Probably one of the easier ones to get to the fingerprint scanner on the power button. It's got pretty good thickness there on the back around the cameras, so you don't have to worry about those getting all scratched up. Doesn't look like these little pieces stick out very far either. The one thing I kind of wish they would have changed is where you grip the phone is plastic. I would have rather had the TPU material, at least on one side down towards the bottom, but overall not too bad here. Now the case itself weighs in at 72 grams. Definitely weighs a little bit more with the case installed, 276 grams. Really, if they just made the TPU material a little bit softer, I feel like this would be one of the better, somewhat rugged cases out there. The Rugged Armor case by SPIGEN. It's definitely going to be one of the better quality TPU cases out there. A nice and snug fit on here. Looks like it's got just enough screen protection all the way around, so I don't think you have to worry about that putting this face down. Also has some ridges here on the side that I think adds a little bit of grip to it. Interesting cutout for the power button. It's a little bit off center, but actually works really good. Definitely some of the better volume buttons when it comes to usability. Fairly simple design here on the back. You've got nice texture here around the cameras, more of a carbon fiber at the bottom. Volume buttons, they seem to stick out plenty there on the side as well. Definitely on the larger side when it comes to the charging port and headphone jack cutouts. Also has nice grip here because of those ridges. 44 grams for the case itself. Weighs in at 248 grams with the case installed. Overall, just a really nice slim TPU case from SPIGEN. Now I had to check out this case by Vina, mainly because it just looks really nice and sleek, very simple design. This is the Outcross Slim Profile cover. They say it's a dual layer, but you can't actually separate it, at least from what I see. Sort of a softer TPU material there on the inside, harder plastic shell on the back. It just feels like it's a little more rugged or heavy duty than some of the other cases I've tested. Probably one of the best as far as screen protection goes. Same thing with the cameras there in the back. You can see how thick this is. You can't get much better as far as how large the opening is for the power button and fingerprint scanner. The buttons don't really make any noise when clicking them, but they work really good and they seem to stick out a little further than some of the other cases I've tested, so I definitely like to see that. Nice and large openings for the headphone jack and the charging port. Might be kind of hard to tell in the video. You can see where the TPU and the hard plastic come together, but you can't separate them. It's sort of like they were merged in the manufacturing process. Very minimal branding on this, and yeah, looks just as nice in person as online. Definitely one of my favorites as far as how it looks on the phone. 62 grams for the case itself. Weighs in at 266 grams with the case on. Fit on here is super snug, which can make it a little bit harder to get this case off. Plus, I feel like the grip is a little better than I thought it would be, but I feel like they could have made a little cutout so that it just has a little bit more of the TPU material versus the hard plastic. Overall though, really nice, fairly rugged case from Vina. Now this case here is sort of in the middle of rugged and a slim case. It's the Tough Armor case by SPIGEN. Has a nice kickstand there on the back. This one's also a hybrid case where you've got the softer TPU on the inside, hard plastic shell on the back. Okay, this one feels like it's got really nice grip on the sides. Sort of feels like the hard plastic has a soft touch material. Fairly minimal there on the screen protection. They do sort of a flatter edge. Probably one of the best as far as the fingerprint scanner goes. Even though the volume buttons are flush, still one of the best as far as usability goes. And you barely have to push the buttons to get them to work. Nice cutouts for each camera there on the back. Then nice and large cutouts for the headphone jack and charging port. And then don't forget your metal built-in kickstand here on the back. Gives you two different angles here in landscape mode. Looks like it's at 66 grams for the case itself. And then yeah, this is going to be one of the heavier cases, weighs in at 268 grams with the case installed. Overall, just a nice rugged case that's got pretty good grip from SPIGEN. Now the Armor Box case by i-blason, definitely going to be the most rugged, most heavy duty case for the A14 5G. Also has been military grade, drop tested. Fairly simple to get the case installed on here. Once you put the screen protector on, it just kind of snaps in to the back part. You can feel the screen protectors there, but still seems to work pretty good. Doesn't feel like it gets in the way though. Definitely some of the better screen protection out there. You've also got a huge cutout here on the side for the fingerprint scanner and power button. You can also see how far the volume buttons stick out. Now when you're clicking the buttons, they don't really make any sound, but overall seem to work pretty good on here. You've also got a flap down here on the bottom for the charging port, and then a decent sized cutout for the headphone jack. You can also see just how thick this case is there in the back around the cameras. I don't know if you can get much more industrial or heavy duty looking than this case. And then don't forget you've got your built-in kickstand there on the back as well. So you can go vertical or landscape when in the stand position. It actually has pretty decent grip here as well because you've got these ridges on the sides. Seems to go in and out of the holster pretty easily. And as expected with this kind of case, 296 grams with the case installed. Add on the holster and you're up to 390 grams. So definitely quite a bit of weight with this whole thing altogether. But keep in mind, you're probably gonna have one of the most rugged cases that you can get for the Galaxy A14 5G.
So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.